Welcome to the CISO Daily Update.
Hackers posed as Google support to steal $243 million in crypto. Hackers stole $243 million in cryptocurrency from a victim by impersonating Google and Gemini support to reset two-factor authentication. The attack occurred in August 2024 and involved social engineering tactics and remote access software to access private keys. An investigator traced the criminals, leading to multiple arrests and the recovery of millions, including over $9 million in frozen assets. The Department of Justice charged the alleged perpetrators with conspiracy to steal and launder cryptocurrency. Man scams $4 million from mostly elderly victims. 40-year-old Roger was convicted by a federal jury in North Carolina of running a telemarketing scam that deceived elderly victims of over $4 million. Roger and his co-conspirators posed as U.S. government officials from a Costa Rican call center, falsely stated victims had won a sweepstakes award, and demanded upfront payments to cover taxes and fees. The criminals employed VoIP technology to hide their location. Roger faces a maximum sentence of 25 years for wire fraud and 20 years for money laundering. The scheme deceived at least 10 individuals aged 55 and older. Android malware Necro infects 11 million devices via Google Play. A new variant of the Necro Trojan malware infected 11 million Android devices via malicious SDK supply chain attacks on Google Play. The malware was embedded in legitimate apps like Wuda Camera and Max Browser, utilizing ad SDKs to execute hidden activities, including ad fraud, JavaScript and DEX file execution, and turning infected devices into malicious proxies. Necro spread through apps and modified versions of popular software, including WhatsApp mods and Spotify mods. Google has since removed the infected apps, but many devices remain compromised. Fragmented cybersecurity standards leave Ohio cities exposed. Driven by Ohio's home rule system, which allows local governments to operate independently, Ohio cities are increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks due to a lack of unified cybersecurity standards. As seen in recent cyber attacks on Cleveland, Columbus, and Huber Heights, this fragmentation leads to inconsistent incident responses. While the state has made strides in improving cybersecurity through training and support, financial and resource challenges remain a significant hurdle. Ohio officials, including Governor DeWine, are seeking more funding for advanced cybersecurity tools, but local governments are struggling to keep pace with the growing threat of cybercrime. Critical flaw in Microchip ASF exposes IoT devices to remote code execution risk. A critical flaw in Microchip's advanced software framework, tracked as CVE 2024-7490 with a CVSS score of 9.5, exposes IoT devices to remote code execution due to a stack-based overflow vulnerability in the tiny DHCP server. This flaw is caused by insufficient input validation that affects ASF version 3.52.0.2574 and earlier. CERT-CC warns the issue may be widespread. No fixes or mitigations are available at this time. ESET patches privilege escalation vulnerabilities in Windows, macOS products. ESET patched 2 local privilege escalation vulnerabilities in its Windows and macOS security products. The first, CVE 2024-7400, affects multiple Windows products and allows attackers to delete files and escalate privileges. It was fixed in the Cleaner module 1251 automatically distributed to users. The second, CVE 2024-6654, affects macOS products and enables denial of service attacks by low-privileged users. This issue was resolved in Cybersecurity version 7.5.74.0 and Endpoint Security for macOS version 8.0.7200.0. No active exploits have been reported for either vulnerability. Versa Networks patches vulnerability exposing authentication tokens. Versa Networks patched a vulnerability in its Versa Director platform, tracked as CVE 2024-45229, which exposes authentication tokens via an unauthenticated API. The vulnerability, rated 6.6 on the CVSS scale, could be exploited by injecting invalid arguments into GET requests, potentially allowing attackers to misuse the tokens for unauthorized API access. While it doesn't expose usernames or passwords, the flaw affects directors directly connected to the internet. Versa released hot fixes for affected versions and advised all users to update. CISO has also urged organizations to apply patches promptly. Paid open source maintainers spend more time on security. Paid open source maintainers are dedicating significantly more time to security and maintenance practices than unpaid ones, with a 55% higher likelihood of implementing critical security measures like two-factor authentication and static code analysis. Despite open source's widespread use, 60% of maintainers remain unpaid hobbyists, contributing to burnout and security risks. Funding maintainers is critical for improving software supply chain security, especially as they now spend 3 times more time on security than in 2021. Microsoft names deputy CISOs, flushes dead accounts as part of internal security overhaul. Microsoft is implementing changes to its internal security culture following a report from the Federal Cyber Safety Review Board. The company launched a Cybersecurity Governance Council and appointed 13 deputy CISOs for specific product segments. Notable updates include eliminating 730,000 unused apps and 5.75 million inactive tenants to reduce risks, as well as implementing automated security processes for access tokens. Additionally, Microsoft introduced the Security Skilling Academy to provide comprehensive security training for all employees.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at CISOheadlines.com. Until next time, stay curious.